Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. How did you manage to meet and plan for your projects as a team despite COVID-19 restrictions?
I think the way that our team met and planned for all of our events, especially for Link, was online virtually at our bi-weekly or weekly meetings. I check in with the VPs of each team bi-weekly, and then we had our team meetings on a weekly basis. That was a little bit more of a brainstorming type of meeting where we'd meet and I'd have the agenda, I'd say this is what we're going to talk about, and then we'd go through it as a team. And even our newer members had that opportunity to tell us what they thought and their actual opinions and their perspectives. And then on a bi-weekly type of notice or a bi-weekly period, I'd meet with the VPs and they'd give me the big updates and they'd tell me, okay, this is what we're talking about. This is what sponsorship is up to, or this is what marketing is up to. And then from there, we move forward and come up with a plan for the next 2-week period.
How are your projects funded?
Yeah, so the main source of funding right now is for Link, which is still coming from the Cooperators Youth Mental Wellness Grant. So we've used a portion of that to do some of the work we've done so far. So with Headspace or some of the stress management webinar that we hosted, and we set aside a plan for the rest of it. So that will kind of carry Link for now. And the other projects are still in the new phase where it's more like ideation, setting up, planning. So they don't really need funding at this point.
What do you expect your projects to look like a year from now?
When it comes to our consulting arm, hopefully we'll have about 8 confirmed startups. We currently have 4 in our portfolio. We have 2 confirmed and 2 that are in the works. And then in terms of Link, growing the following on our Discord platform from 100 to 500, and then continuing with those events on a more regular basis. We see Moneasy, which is one of our student startups, really taking over the financial literacy portion. And so seeing how that will play out and helping him grow his following as well. And then in terms of our other student startup, the Oddity Co., having her launch her first collection and supporting her however we can with that.
Was there any unexpected negative impact or externality related to your projects?
Could you repeat the question?
Was there any unexpected negative impacts or externality related to your projects?
I wouldn't say so much a negative externality or a negative impact, but again, because a lot of our events are focused on our following on Instagram or our following on Discord, currently it is very limited to first-year students, which is all right as for now because it does fit with our mission to focus on those first-year students. But moving forward, hopefully expanding that to be more comprehensive within all university students and all the different grades per se.
Could you clarify the role of your partnerships and the role of your team in your projects?
Sure. So in regards to partnerships with Link, Moneasy is kind of like on board with Link, so coexisting. As Sarah mentioned earlier, they'll be running a lot of the financial literacy workshops. Then with the Canadian Foundation for Economic Education and the UW FinTech Club that we partner with to host events, that's more of just ad hoc things. So if they have an event coming up or if we have one, we'd like them to keynote speak, that's kind of where that would exist. And then I believe for the other project, so the Oddity, that partnership again is kind of under the consulting arm. So just helping her with the different aspects of launching as a startup.
How did you come up with the idea for your projects?
As for the consulting arm, we had a lot of help from our program manager and our faculty advisor in really drafting out the idea. It really came about, I guess, because we have so many students coming to us for support, given that Waterloo is very much a school that thrives on innovation and fosters that. We have a lot of students coming to us and asking for our support or our guidance. And so having that almost in a more process and delivered way was something that we wanted to do, which is how the consulting arm came to be. In terms of Link, Tristan, do you want to handle that one?
Yeah, sure. So with Link, the main thing for us was with COVID and everything going virtual back for fall. the idea was that we were talking, especially because we have quite a few first years on the team, talking to them and seeing what they feel is missing. And that piece was the connectivity of students. So we figured that creating some sort of platform that could help ease that transition, because I know like the first year transition was hard enough in person, so online is just extra difficult. And that's kind of where we decided to step in with Link, provide a platform for the first year students to connect, get to know each other, and connect with like clubs and other things on campus.
Do you have an exit strategy for your projects?
I wouldn't say an exit strategy. I'd say we really hope to see both projects grow because they are still in the earlier phases. So one being in the ideation phase and one hopefully being in the very beginning phases and growing. So I wouldn't say that there is an exit strategy.
What existing resources has your team leveraged throughout the development of your projects?
I think one big one, as Sarah hinted to earlier, is our faculty advisor. She's been a very useful resource in terms of like just giving her time and input when it's coming up with the projects and looking at how we can expand our outreach on campus, like putting us in contact with different people. And then of course, like through Enactus Canada with the grant for Link, that really helped push us forward with Link. And allowed us to offer some of the stuff that we've been able to offer so far.
Did your team take any action to increase diversity and inclusion?
One way we did try and increase diversity and inclusion is we noticed a pattern where a lot of students were applying within the arts faculty specifically, rather than across the different faculties. And so what we are trying to do, hopefully, and continue doing moving forward, is when going through applications, marking students that are from different faculties and bringing that up in interviews and asking how they think that could play into their success with Enactus, just to also expand on that so that we have input from all the different faculties rather than just arts or AFM.
Tell us about your project's marketing strategy to reach your target audience.
So for Link, again, this is like Link is a project that is built for UW students as of right now. So the marketing aspect is just trying to increase outreach to UW students, and that's done through our social media. And a big piece of that has also come from collaborating with other clubs, having them reshare our posts or promoting it to their members. And moving forward, we'd also like to kind of bring it up to potentially faculty or WUSA, which is the undergrad student union.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus University of Waterloo.